Hey everybody, and welcome to the Get Speaking English Coffee and Crossword stream. My name is Axel, and while we wait for the stream to begin, let me quickly explain how this activity works and give you some information that will help you do it. So, during the stream, we will go through a crossword similar to the one you see on the screen right now. I'm going to guide the conversation by letting you know which question will work on when. I'm going to explain the question to you, maybe give you some definitions, and then I'm going to give you additional clues, other information, hints, maybe some images to help you figure out the answer with me. So, when you think you know an answer, go ahead and put it in the chat. You'll be able to participate on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. The addresses are all available on the screen. So don't be shy if you think you know an answer. Put it in the chat, and when I see a correct answer, I will add it on the board and we will fill out the crossword together that way. So before we begin though, there are a few important rules that you should know specifically about this stream so we could all have a good time. So my first major rule is no cheating. So don't use the internet unless I tell you to. So we could Google the answers if we want or use websites. We're not going to do that though. We're going to work together instead. So please do not use the internet unless I tell you to do so. Secondly, please follow the conversation. So for example, if we are talking about question number 3, don't start talking about question 19. Also, too, please be patient. We may take some detours along the way. I love to talk about additional vocabulary, phrases, other things that are related to what's in the crossword. So just please be patient. Try to stay with the group and don't ruin it for others. Finally, please be nice to one another. Like I said, you'll be able to participate on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, but let's create a nice, friendly learning environment where people feel like they can participate without judgment and have a good time. So those are my main rules for playing this game. Now I'm going to give you some additional information specifically about this crossword to help you complete it. So the first useful thing to know is that this is an American crossword. So that means that American spelling and vocabulary is going to be used. So you can see on the screen right now some differences between American and British spelling. There are many others. This is just a small sample of some of the differences. There are also differences in the choice of vocabulary, in some of the phrases, some of the slang is different. So usually this crossword uses American English. It's also worth knowing that any of the trivia is usually about the United States, so about American history, American geography. However, we won't need to know much trivia. Thankfully, the majority of the questions in this crossword are about language, they're about English, so we won't need to know a lot about trivia. It's also really helpful to know that the answers match the questions. So the answers will always use the same type of word and the same word form as the word in the question. So for example, if there is a plural in the question, there will be a plural in the answer. If there's an abbreviation in the question, there will be an abbreviation in the answer. So all of that is extremely helpful. Sometimes you will see me put little S's or EDs in places, and that's just good information for us to know to fill out the board faster. Keep that in mind too when you are answering, that your answer should always use the same type of word and the same word form as the question. Also, multiple word answers are okay in this crossword. So sometimes the answer could be a phrasal verb, maybe part of a common phrase or an idiom, part of a sentence. Some of the longer ones are titles of books, titles of movies. This crossword does not indicate when something is a multiple word answer. However, I am usually quick to spot them. I will let you know if something is a multiple word answer, but do keep in mind when you are thinking about the answers to the questions that multiple word answers are possible. Finally, too, because we are here to review English, we're here to learn new words and vocabulary as well. It's important to know that there are words in this crossword that we can't really use in real life. So some of the words are just archaic, they're outdated, they're old-fashioned. Some of them are very formal or used only in very specific contexts. I will try to let you know if you can't use something, and I'll try to give you an alternative expression instead. I'll also let you know when you could use something in a specific context, but do keep that in mind that there are words in this crossword that even I, as a native English speaker, would never use in real life during a conversation. Anyway, so that's it. Like I said, don't be shy. Go ahead, jump in. The more you participate, the faster this crossword will go. So I do appreciate your help. Also, don't hesitate to ask questions about any of the words we talk about or any of the phrases we discuss. I always love having a good language discussion. So put your questions in the chat. I will try to address them. Finally, if you enjoy this activity, please give this video a thumbs up. Also consider subscribing to the channel or following my Facebook page so you don't miss any future streams. Hello. Hey everybody. Hey, welcome. Hey, this is Axel from Good Speaking English. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are. I'm in Canada, if you don't already know. It is morning here, and it is a sunny day. Yay! We finally have some sun. But it's pretty cold here. Anyways, welcome to the stream. I'm doing a crossword this morning. We are going to do a crossword. Just like the video said, we're going to look at this crossword, the one on the screen right now, and we're going to go through it. I'm gonna lead the conversation, let you know which question we are working on when, and I'm gonna throw out some additional clues, little ideas, definitions, all sorts of different things to help you figure out the answer with me. So if you think you know what an answer is, put it in the chat. Don't be shy. So I can read the comments right now on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. So I can see what you're saying there. If you're gonna play, I recommend playing on YouTube. That is the best place right now to play. And hello, Jacqueline. Hey, welcome. Hello. Yeah, hello Canada. Hello, Europe. You're in France, right? I think so. Hello, France. Yeah. So, yeah, welcome. I'm just assuming France. Maybe it's not. I don't know. Let me know where you're from. So I'm not sure. Anyways, yeah. Right, so we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this crossword. So if you think you know what an answer is, don't be shy. Put it in the chat. When I see the answer, I will put it up on the board and we will figure out the crossword that way. I love when people play. The more the merrier, the faster it goes, for sure. So it's always better when there's lots of help. So don't feel shy. But YouTube definitely is probably the best place to play. Although I do get your question, I do see the comments though on Facebook and Twitch as well. I just think that there's a bit more of a delay. So anyways, so let's get right to it. I looked at this crossword earlier today. Should get some assistant here. Get some music. Okay, so I looked at this France, but no sun in my area. Okay, all right, no sun there. Yeah, we had like rainy, cloudy, cold weather for the past couple of days, although I think it's still pretty cold? I have to check. I mean, it's 8 degrees here. So not the warmest, but that's actually pretty warm for here. So, because it was like 1 degree forever. Anyways, yeah, let's get right to it then. Yeah, let's get right to it. All right, so I looked at this. It's not that hard, so that's good. So I don't think that we'll have any problem getting through this. I think, hopefully not. All right, let's start right away with Mona Lisa feature. So a feature is something, you know, something that's kind of almost like special about something, like a characteristic about something, right? A feature. Oh, what? Oops. Feature. A characteristic. Basically something that makes something, right? And there's something particular about the Mona Lisa. This is an art piece, if you don't already know. Mona Lisa, famous painting, right? Mysterious smile. Exactly. I think smile is going to be our first answer here. And if you're not sure what a smile is, it's like things with the lips, essentially. So she has a very mysterious smile indeed. All right, so perfect. What else here? Be curt with. What is it? Changes the subjects, perhaps. Blah blah blah. Floral rings and an annex. Okay. Let's do this one. Writer's work. So a work, when we are talking about, I know work usually refers to, you know, a job or some sort of task that you have to do or something like that. But we can also use the word work when it comes to pieces of art, for example. Or for example, in this case, a piece of written written work, something that's written, right? So we could also use work when we're talking about music, talking about artists, talking about writers, for example. So we're looking for like a type of thing that somebody would write. So script is definitely something that somebody would write for sure. I don't think that's going to be our answer. Just because I think like it's going to be weird having 2 S's here. But there are other things that writers can write as well, right? I think we're looking for a book here, actually. So I think in this case, we're looking for a type of a book that a writer may write. I think that that's what we are looking for here. So, you know, for example, a writer may write, you know, a poem, for example. That could be a work, a written piece of work, for example, that a writer might do, right? Or maybe like a biography, although that is very long. Obviously, our answer is not long here, but I think we're looking for a type of a book. So we're looking for a type of a book. And I'm just going to grab really quickly too, like this definition of work, because I feel like it's maybe a little like lesser. And what do they say? What does the dictionary say? Jeez, if I can find it. I'm not finding it. What? So satire. Satire is definitely a type of written, something that we would write. That is like a style of book or whatever. I think we're overthinking it. I think this is gonna start with an N. This is gonna start with an N. This word starts with an N. A type of a book basically. A kind of book. Basically. Something that you would read. Typically divided into like... Oh, you're looking for the longer online. Oh yeah, maybe. We're looking at like... What are we looking at? Anyways, we're looking at this one. This one here, writer's work. Is satire on here? Oh, it might be. Let me know. Yeah, this one's novel. Do we think that maybe this one's satire? What number do you think is satire? Let me know. We can pop it in. Alright, so we got novel. That is an example of a piece of work written by an author. So I think that's what that's gonna be. What else do we have here? Be of use. I know what this is, but I'm not sure if we're gonna get this. I think we can get this one though. Signing needs. Something that we need in order to sign something. I think we're talking about, like, for example, when you write your signature, right? You're not sure what a signature is? That's basically like your name, right? Like usually in cursive writing. Although that's a good question. Like however you normally spell your name, right? So we're looking for some sort of tool, something you would need in order to sign something. Exactly. I think that the answer for this one is going to be pens. We're going to need pens. Lots of pens if we are writing things. So let's put that in there. Alrighty. So we got some pens. Be curt with a roll of icons. I think these like little icons, these little row of icons things, we're talking about like, I'm like trying to make my screen a little bit smaller. Oh, wait. So I can show it. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Wait. Gonna move this down a little bit. Move down my like screen there. You see all the like the top of the screen here, right? The top of the browser, I should say. We have all of these little icons up here. So I think we're basically looking for the name of the, you know, those things on the browser, for example, or maybe on a program where all of the little icons are located. So the name of the thing, basically the the name of the part of the screen that shows all the icons and options that are available to use in a program or on a website. I think that makes sense. We have a dashboard, so a dashboard, that's usually more like, that's like bigger almost, right? That's the dashboard's usually like full screen, right? We are thinking about, let's see if I can write on my screen here. Here we go. We're talking about this thing because I don't think you can see my cursor, but now I can draw. Such a pro teacher. This little thing up here, you know, with like the icons and stuff. So I think we're looking for the name of whatever this is. So that has all like the little all the little options and things like that. So it starts with a T. I'm gonna put a T in here. I'm also gonna add a T here if I can figure out. There we go. I can do it without. We also want an S, so I'm gonna put an S here as well because I think it says it's plural. I know you can't see it now. Those are icons. And the icons, if we're unsure, icons are the little pictures, basically. So, try to get another picture of things. Here's another picture. I can take a screenshot. Here's another picture. I know this one's a little bit dark, but I think this one's from like a very old writing program or something. Anyways, it starts with a T. There's gonna have a B in it. We're gonna have a B in it. But I have too many here. I think I have too many here. There you go. So we have a B in here. Okay, I think this one, so this one is going to be toolbars, I think. So this thing up here with the little options. I think you can see my cursor. Yeah, you can. With all the little icons. Those are toolbars. So I'll put that in here. Toolbars. And a difference between the toolbar and the dashboard. So the toolbar is basically just like the little, those little strips of the program where they show like the little things. A dashboard is usually more like something that takes up the whole screen. Basically, maybe gives you a ton of information. Here is an example of somebody's dashboard. Or I don't know if you use programs like Notion or something like that. People also have very complicated dashboards that give them, you know, lots of options, lots of information, things like that. Anyways, so this would be more like a dashboard here. At least when we're talking about computers. All right, so see if I can fix my screen. Oh gosh. All right, so we're gonna get rid of my drawing, and then I'm trying to fix my. All right. Anyways, all right. So we got that one. Good luck that. Okay. All right. All right. Moving on. Moving on. What else do we have here? So I feel like we might have enough information here now to get this one. If you were curt with someone, if you were curt means that you're maybe very rude. Very rude because you maybe you speak in a way that's very short and quick, right? So very quick, and it comes off as being rude, right? So if you're curt with someone, this is like a way that you're talking to somebody. So we're looking for basically a phrasal verb. We might know that. But a phrasal verb, basically a way of talking, like to talk to someone. in a way that's short, quick, and maybe comes off as being rude or even angry here. So maybe you're really frustrated with somebody. Geez, if you're really frustrated with somebody, and yeah, you would talk at them in a way because maybe you don't have any patience left. And you're just like, nah, 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 kind of barking things at them. Or maybe you get frustrated and you say something really quick, short, without really thinking. We're looking at something like that. Yeah, we're gonna snap at somebody. Exactly, snap at somebody. Talk to them really quickly, almost in a very rude manner, angry manner. All right, yeah, so we're gonna snap at somebody. We might say that too, you know, for example, you might get frustrated, lose your patience, and then, you know, snap at someone, or just snap in general, kind of lose your cool, break down, and I couldn't deal with the pressure and I snapped, basically. So I snapped and started behaving maybe in a way that's not the best. Anyways, okay, so we got that one. Changes the subject. I kind of said this earlier. This answer here. O something E. Something, 2 words here. But something we might say, or no, basically to like move on. To go on to another topic, another something. To change the subject, yes. Yeah, subject changes the subject. Basically talks about the next thing, something we might say. Or maybe going from one activity to another activity. I know I just kind of spoiled it. Anyway, I'm not awake this morning yet. Working on it. Anyway, something we might say. There is an S in here. I'll add the S. An S here moves on. Exactly. Moves on. Goes from one thing to another. Alright. There we go. And let's do... I want to do this one. I've been avoiding this one because I always feel weird about explaining this one. I think this code comes up in the crossword from time to time. It's just usually, if something is of use, that means that it works, right? If something is of use, you know, it works and it's helpful, basically, right? But this word here, this word is funny because usually we would actually use this in a negative sentence, usually saying like, like we would use it if something didn't work. Say if you tried something, but then what you tried didn't work, you might say, if something didn't work, it was, we would say, of no, whatever this word is. That's usually how we would use this word. We would use it in a negative phrase. So if something didn't work, we would say, yeah, it was whatever this is, this little phrase. So the opposite wasn't helpful. Great little phrase, though. I think it's an idiom. Is it an idiom? Maybe. Not really. Not. But this is how we would use this. There is an L in here. I'm going to add an L. Ends in an L. I feel like this phrase might be a little lesser known, maybe. It's a good one, though. We would definitely say it. So if something didn't work, if it wasn't helpful, we tried something, we might say that it was of no avail, is what we would say. So I'm gonna put this in a sentence so we can see how this is used. So we tried to persuade her, tried to convince her not to resign, so not to step down from her job, but to no avail. So it didn't work. It did not happen. Or, for example, too, here's another one. Oops. My attempts to improve the situation were of little avail or of no avail. So that's how we would use this, like little or no avail. Those are the words that collocate with this phrase here. But that's usually how we would use this. We usually don't use this in a positive, but we usually use it in a negative phrase. So if you tried something and it didn't work, we would say that it was of no avail. I tried my hardest, but it was of no avail. I couldn't stop the thing from happening, even though I tried. Anyways, an interesting little phrase to know, a great little phrase. Moving on. Let's do this one. Silvery gray. This is a color, kind of. A color. A-S something. A color. A color that's kind of derived, like the name of this color is derived from, like something that has a similar color, like after you burn something. Ash, exactly. So once you burn something, especially like paper or wood, the leftovers have that gray, silvery color. The ashes have that color. So ash is also a color, we would say. All right, great job. So if you know what this one is, let me know. I do know like what this one is as well. But this work here, I'm gonna take a guess at what that one is. And then we also have a research spot as well. So a place where researchers would do their work. A place where researchers or scientists, you know, basically conduct studies, right? And this word is short for a longer word. It's like the abbreviated version of this word here. Ivanhoe, exactly. So let's put Ivanhoe in here. I figured you'd know what that is. I should have done that. Maybe I should have done that like sooner. I usually skip the trivia, but I like that you know the trivia, so that's really helpful. Lab. We're gonna do a work at a lab. And I know I read lab yesterday. Yesterday I did I read an article for the article related to the thing that I'm talking about in a lot of my classes. Lab is short for lab is short for this word, so we could either say, I say laboratory, that's what I would say, but we could also say laboratory, and both of those are right and acceptable. Laboratory. So laboratory, that's what I would say, or laboratory. Those are both acceptable ways of pronouncing this word. So anyways, if you ever wondered. At hand. At hand. If something is at hand, something at hand might mean that it's sort of within reach, maybe. I might say, or maybe it's happening soon, maybe. If we are talking about time, for example. So looking for near, exactly. Hey Ray, welcome. Welcome to the stream. It's good to see you. Yeah, let's just put near in here. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Awesome. All right. Something that we would put in a gallery. A gallery. the fill of the gallery. Gallery is usually where maybe like painters or sculptors would show their work. Going back to that word earlier, work. So you know, painters or sculptors would show their work. Exactly. Art. Works of art. You could say. So gallery, fill is going to be art. Let's plop that in here. Charged. And this word here. This word kind of looks like lingerie. This word is actually lingerie. Lingerie. And it's basically women's underwear. So we're looking for a type of type of underwear, basically. Type of underwear that a woman might wear. Women know the answer. We all know the answer. But let's put it on the board. Type of lingerie. Bra. Exactly. Let's put bra in here. This is an interesting word though, because I know that the pronunciation of this word is completely different from what it from the look of this. This is lingerie. Because English is terrible like that. But yes, a bra. Okay. What else do we have here? Farm diner worker. I think this is here. This here. So a diner. It's kind of like an American style restaurant. Wow, that maybe has sort of casual, like maybe you get like burgers and fries and milkshakes and stuff like that. Sort of like get like simple like food, like I don't know, hamburgers and fries, etc. Anyways, we're looking for the name of the person that might bring the food, basically, right? Exactly, the waitress. The waitress might bring you the food, exactly. And waiter for the man, right? Yeah, let's put the waitress in here. All right, so we got the waitress. A little outdated, because we don't necessarily use the gendered versions anymore, like stewardess, waitress, but waitress in here. Let's see here. Farm carrier. I think this is a thing that it's like a thing with wheels that maybe gets pulled by an animal. A thing with wheels that is pulled by an animal, you know, such as like a donkey or maybe a horse or something. For example, so then we could put stuff on it. You could use it to carry things, essentially. I'm gonna get a picture of whatever this thing is. See if I can find one, like, of an animal or on a farm, maybe. There we go. Shoot. This one is hard. I'm gonna get a picture. I think if we get a picture, you'll know what I mean. What are these things? Here we can see this horse, this team of horses. Looks like there's two. Is there two of them? Maybe there's just one. Looks like there's two, a team of horses, and they are pulling this thing. This thing. How about the wagon? Yes, a wagon. Or we might say to fall off the wagon. Maybe, for example, if you're trying to get sober, if you're trying to stop drinking, and then you would drink again, you would fall off the wagon. Or maybe if you're trying to stop a bad habit, and you would fall off of the wagon. Anyways, yes. So wagon, I think that's what that one is. All right, great job. So, but fall off the wagon is kind of funny. Basically to say this if you were trying to stop a bad habit, like drinking, but then you mess up. So you'd fall off the wagon, something like that. Anyways, like gymnasts, spa, garments. Garments, the word garment, that is another word for like clothing. A garment is an article of clothing. So we're looking for a type of clothing you would wear at the spa. And I think we know the spa, maybe you would go a place you could get like a massage. Maybe they have like hot tubs and stuff like that, right? Place where you would go relax and get pampered, right? But there's sort of like this thing that you might wear, type of thing. And of course, too, we want a plural, because we can see here that there is a plural in the question. So things you'd wear at the spa. I'm gonna get a picture to help us out. You might also wear one of these when you get out of the shower as well. So towel is a good guess. Towel is not our word though. Good guess though. I think we're looking for, get a picture here. These things you might wear at, there you go. You might wear at the spa, right? So one of those things. So it starts with an R. There's an R in this word. Robes, exactly. This is a robe. So you might wear a robe at the spa. Obviously, too, people will wear towels as well, too. Bathrobe as well. Yes, bathrobe would be like the long version. Exactly. And then people will just say robe for short. Exactly. So great job. Yeah, bathrobe or a robe. So we're gonna wear robes when we are at the spa. Great job. What else? Disparaging. Jargon. Suffix. Let's do this one. Charged. Charged. This is like a money word. Kind of. B-I something something E something. And we can see that there's like a past. We're using, it's like an adjective or maybe the past form of a verb here. But yeah, basically, like what would happen if you would get charged, if you bought something, you might get it charged to your credit card, right? So they would charge it to your credit card. It has to do with flavors. This one doesn't have anything to do with flavors. Nothing to do with flavors, but we're talking about buying things here, I think. Buying, being able to pay for things, basically. So if you bought something, you might get it charged to your credit card, or you might get it, like they would send you the invoice, basically. Maybe, it says that you owe somebody money, right? If you give it an invoice for something, then you owe money, basically. So bill it. So bill it might be for the thing that you have to pay. You're getting close. We're looking for like a verb though. There is two L's in here though. I'm gonna put it in here. Super close. So bill it. Actually, I wouldn't say like necessarily bill it. Oh, I'm thinking about something else. Bill, it's not that. I think it's something else. But the word bill is in here. The word bill is in here. You might get billed for something though. Billed for something, right? So the bill is something that you pay. Right? So the bill is the thing that you would pay, and we could use it as a verb as well, to bill someone for something, or you know, I got billed billed by the spa for too many people, and now I need to ask for a refund or something. I don't know, something like that. Builds though, let's put builds in here. All right. You got that. Cry out. Cry out. This is like a making, you know, noise with our mouths, right? If you call out to somebody, you may, speak very loudly so they can hear you, right? So we're kind of looking for that kind of sort of verb almost. Sorry, You cry. Did I just ruin it? I might have just ruined it. I'm really tired this morning. This is a struggle. Oh. It'll be better Friday. Call, I know. I really ruined that one, didn't I? Ha! We're gonna like call out. God. Anyway. Call, yes, we're gonna call out to somebody. Call to somebody, cry out, get their attention. And basically. Like gymnasts. Alright, so there's two clues here that we might get. So we have this 2006 Pixar film. If you know what this 2006 Pixar film is, let me know. And hello, Gut Instinct. I'm just noticing your message now. We are doing crosswords. You are welcome to respond if you happen to know what the answer is. Put it in the chat, but it might be faster if you go over to YouTube. So that's where most people are hanging out. But I love help. It goes faster. Cars, exactly. So Cars is going to be our Pixar film. Let's put that in here. And then I think we have more information here now. So like gymnasts. So basically an adjective that we might use. An adjective we might use for gymnasts. I'm talking about gymnasts because, you know, gymnasts are pretty crazy, right? Like they're very, very flexible, right? They're kind of bendy and things like that. So see the answer over on Twitch. Twitch here. Let's see if we can get it on YouTube as well. So talking about gymnasts. Agile is our word, exactly. So agile, that, you know, that state of being very like flexible, being able to move very easily. And if we're talking about that quality, agility is the quality of being very, you know, like flexible and bendy and being able to move really easily. So this is a quality that gymnasts typically have. All right, what else do we have here? See if we know this word. We might not know this word. This could be maybe a new word. A suspect's story. The suspect is somebody suspected of doing a crime, right? Maybe. So someone suspected of doing a crime, you know, so like the police think that they might do a crime, right? But then they have a little story, exactly, saying that they did something else, maybe an alibi. Exactly. So let's put that in here. And last but not least, this, are you teaching people here English? We are learning English. Exactly. We are learning English. We are more like we are reviewing English. So, which is great. We are learning some new things along the way. But yes, this activity is intended for people who are learning English. Exactly. So, so if you are a native speaker, I mean, definitely help out, but we can be patient, I think, and let people try to give people some time to come to the answers themselves. So yeah, so if we disparage somebody, that means that we're going to criticize them. To disparage someone means to criticize them in a way that shows you don't, you know, really respect them. So maybe you would like, yeah, criticize them or something. Here we go. I'm gonna use this one in a sentence so we can see how this word is used. So he disparages his business competitors, saying they're all a bunch of amateurs compared to him. So we're looking for a way that we might talk to somebody if we are disparaging them. So basically rude. Yeah, maybe, I guess this would be an adjective, right? So way of talking to someone that's very kind of rude, shows you don't respect them. So snidey, kind of close. I'd say there's a couple of words that kind of collocate with this. Yeah, snide is our word here, snide. And we would typically, yeah, use this for like snide remarks. That's usually what it would collocate with. So here, for example, she made 1 or 2 snide remarks. So that's how we would use this word, snide remarks about their house, which I thought was a bit unnecessary. So she made a couple rude remarks, rude statements about something that I thought, or about the house that I thought was unnecessary. So snide, very rude, shows that you don't respect somebody, or maybe you want to belittle them, tear them down a little bit. Anyways, great job. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right. What else do we have here? Let's rank above discount. Saloon seat. This is a kind of a long one, but I think we can get this one. A saloon. You know where you see like saloons, like in old westerns. A place to get a beer. Sorry, a beer in old western movies, basically, right? So, so like an old, yeah, right? So we're looking for something that you would sit on, basically, at when you're out getting a beer, right? Yeah, something. Yes, something. I think it's 2 words. It might be 1 word, actually. No, this is 2 words. Okay. Double checking. Sometimes I don't know. So something you would sit on. Okay, something you'd sit on. Sort of at that counter where you would get the beer served. So those little things that you might sit on. I'm gonna get a picture. If nobody says it. Bar something. Yes, bar is definitely in here. So I'm gonna put bar in here. It's gonna be our first word. And then those little seats. They're kind of tall little seats. They usually don't have a back. It's not like a chair. So, and sometimes they're very tall seats. Very tall seats. Guys, I gotta get a picture. We're so close. What are these things here? Whatever the heck these things are called. And of course, we just want one. But, something. Oh, there's a T here. I put a T here. So it's here. These little things. It ends in an L. I guess I can keep like filling them in. Put an L here. Barstool! Barstool, the French version can't help me. It's completely different. This is a star stool. Exactly, barstool. Or we just call it a stool for short as well. Because I mean a stool, like bar stools are typically high, right? But we might also just use the word stool for like little short ones as well too. Typically it's sort of it's like a seat that doesn't really have a back. I mean sometimes. But yeah, anything kind of like anything kind of like that is a stool. Anyways, awesome. Let's put that in here. There we go. Some stool. Least binding. Defeats. Cow call. Whatever a cow says. Or cow call. This is the noise that a cow makes. If you happen to know what that is. Or cow call. Noise that a cow makes. You know how like cats go meow and birds go chirp and dogs go woof. So whatever the cow makes. In English, of course. So kind of close. You're kind of close-ish. Spelling is off, but I can see. So kind of. It definitely starts with an M. Definitely starts with an M. Ray, you have like the sound, but the spelling is not quite there. But yeah, definitely that sound. That yes. So this one, the sound that the cow makes is going to be moo. The cow goes moo. The cow goes moo. Let's put moo in here. Let's see what else we can do here. Okay. The twin of famous. Defeats. This is too. What's going on here? There we go. That's better. You guys can see this okay, right? Yes. Okay. Defeats. Originally I thought that this was a, because defeat can be a verb, right? But I think this answer is actually a noun. So I made the same mistake. Mao instead of moo. Yeah, that's all good. This is a noun, I think. So if you defeat someone, you know, defeat someone, you win, right? But we could also use defeats as a noun as well. So I think this word here, this is a noun. Oh, something. That's basically, so losing, so we have the right base, we have the right base form, base word for sure. Of course, like losing, that's a verb, right? Here we're looking for, yeah, basically, almost like the opposite of a win, right? basically. Because we can also use win as a noun as well, too. You know, I had many wins last year, or my team had a lot of wins last year. And if they didn't win, we might say that they had whatever this is. Word is related, though, to losing. Definitely. Losers, so losers, those are more like the people, right? Okay, so that's also a noun, right? Losers, those are the people. People who don't win, right? The opposite of winners. So losers, the people who don't win. So we're close. We're close. I'm gonna put an E here. There is an E here. Put an E here. There you go. You know where else we would see this word sometimes too? Maybe if when they're talking about finance, sometimes like if you lose money or something. I don't know if that helps. But sometimes we also talk about this or talking about the stock market, I want to say. Yeah, maybe finances or stock market, things like that. Basically the opposite of, you know, when you have gains, you make money. And then if you lose money, you have whatever these are. So this here is going to be losses, I think. So losses, the opposite of wins. Losses. So I'd pop that right in there. Tricky word though, but we learned a lot of, I think, related words. Let me put this in a sentence maybe, I guess. You can see it. Lobsters. Yes. Lobsters. You know, I live in the land of lobster. I'm right by the North Atlantic. That one was tricky, I know. Let's see here. So the loss is the fact that you no longer have something. See if I can find it. Not really. Anyways, a loss is if you don't have something. Okay, anyways, so losses. All right, moving on to do, oh, this is not obvious. Cardiff's Land, entertain. Okay, let's do this one. Takes a break. Takes a break. So looking for a verb here. A verb we'd use if we want to take a break, right? If we want to stop doing something for a bit, maybe recoup some energy, get our energy back, maybe. So takes a break, almost like a pause, right? Yeah. And of course we have this here. So yeah, so stops doing something for a bit. Basically, that's what we want. Takes a break. Maybe because they're tired. Stops doing something for a bit because they are tired. I think like that's kind of key there. Yes. You guys can see this, right? Yes. I think. Rests, exactly. Rests is going to be our... We can always rest for a bit, right? Get your energy back. All right, so let's put rests in here. There we go. All right. You got that there. I think this one should be easy-ish, maybe. Possibly. It's like a fighting word. This is not a good word. A word we might use if almost like if countries are fighting against one another, unfortunately. Yeah, it was in the third person. I know. Yeah. That was tricky. War. Exactly. War. So let's put war in here. All right. So we got that one. What else we do here? Renown. Renown is a word. If you have, if something is renowned, a lot of people know about it. All right, so renown here, like that idea of many people knowing about something. So we're looking for another word that we might use. For something that is really well known, basically. Really well known. Maybe has a lot of followers, almost like a celebrity, like a word we would use for a celebrity, for example. So, something, fame. Exactly. So renown, fame, we would use. I'll put fame in here. All right. Cool. We're not gonna get this one to do. But I think we have enough information. We can get this one now to entertain. Hey, something. It's almost like, you would like entertain somebody, like, this is a verb, I'll say. So to, whatever this one is, someone, basically, to entertain someone, or even like, almost like to make them laugh and things like that. So welcome, Maddie. Welcome. Amaze. Good guess. Not quite. If you gotta amaze somebody, you really wow them. You're like, you do something extremely impressive to make someone really impressed because you did something really incredible or amazing. Related word, amuse. Exactly, amuse. And another word related here, right? Amusing, something amusing, very entertaining. And we also have amusement, right? Like amusement park, a place that you would go for amusement. So let's put amusement here. Awesome. There we go. And welcome. What else do we have here? All right. So we're doing great. Great job, everybody. Least binding. This is like a superlative, right? Like least, most, those are words. Least and most. Words we use when making superlatives, right? like superlative adjectives, right? So you have comparative adjectives if you're comparing things to one another. Here, the superlative is like the most extreme or the least extreme of something. Something that is binding is maybe something that wraps around you kind of tightly. Wraps around, so something binding wraps around something tightly, let's say. All right, so we're looking for the opposite. Basically the opposite of something that is tight. This is the opposite of something tight, basically. So, yeah, so the opposite of something tight, loosest, exactly. So loose, opposite of tight. So loose, the opposite of something tight, or right, or binding, we might say. I guess you could say binding, but anyways, yeah, loosest, exactly. So put that in here. Now this word is kind of funny. We have like to do up here. I don't like that. But this is like I don't like this. This is not a very common use of this word, but this word, this here, a word that means basically to show maybe excitement or anger about something, maybe like more emotion or more anger, more excitement than is really necessary for something. I don't think that my explanation is very good. But we would say, but there's a collocation though. We would say to make a something about something. Exactly, fuss is our word. A fuss is a word. So you make a fuss about something, make a big issue about something, like, don't make such a fuss. I gotta use this in a, I don't know, but I think I know number 24. Yeah, so yeah, no, number 24 too. Yeah, so let me know, yeah, if you know number 24 for sure. And I'm just gonna put this in a sentence for us. So she made such a fuss when Richard spilled a drop of wine on her blouse. So she kind of got too excited or too upset about it. Exactly. So you would make a fuss or make such a fuss. So let's put that in here. And yeah, if you know either of these, so we have Cardiff's land. So this is a country, this is a place. And Romulus, exactly. Let's put Romulus. Romulus here. So we got that, and we got Wales. Perfect. I love when you guys know the trivia. So that's cool. Cool. Rank above Viscount. But let's say this one was inactive. So basically didn't do something for a little bit, maybe, right? Inactive, the opposite of being active. So inactive. Right, so we have this this prefix here, negates it. So opposite of being inactive, and if was, so we're looking for a past verb or maybe a past participle here. Past verb, past participle, Meaning something you'd do if you were not active for a bit. That makes sense. So something you do if you were not active. So if you weren't walking around doing all sorts of stuff, right? Maybe you would do this while you were taking a rest, right? So it's not gonna be say, sat, exactly, sat. Maybe we sat on our butts for a little bit. So let's put that in here. Sat for a while, sat around, right? Definitely. Perfect. All right. What else? Scrape. Oh, be sure. Sit down. Acid type. River through Alaska. Hearty dish. Let's do this one first. So a dish, this is a food. This is a food. A food. It is like a soup, but it's thicker. A food, basically kind of like a soup, but maybe thicker with more like not fruits, but meat and vegetables in it. Because here, hearty, typically something hearty makes you a little bit fuller. Something hearty, at least when we're talking about food, something hearty maybe is very filling, basically. So looking for a type of food. I gotta try to get a picture of what this might be. Dun, 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 dun. Maybe something like this. Right, because there's like more stuff in it that would just be in a soup. But it does have some like wetness, some liquid in it, so it's not like not like a casserole, for example. And we're looking for it. This is a noun. This is a noun. So, but we would definitely serve this warm. Definitely. Or here's another one. Maybe this is even a better picture. Something like this. These it's making me hungry. I need to eat something. Something like that. This word starts with an S. This word starts with an S. I'm gonna put an S in here. Put it in there. There's a W in it. I'm gonna put a W. Put a W here. We might also use this word actually as a verb as well too. I'm gonna show you how we use this. So not soup. A type of food consisting usually of meat or fish or vegetables cooked slowly in a small amount of liquid. So this is a stew. Here, a stew. So this is going to be a stew. I'm going to say though, so to stew something means to cook something, let it simmer sort of in a little bit of liquid over a long period of time. So we can also use it as a verb. Basically, to cook something slowly, a little bit of liquid over a long period of time. But I was gonna say too, we could use this word if we're really angry or upset about something, or maybe worried about something. So that's, and it's a very informal use of this word. But here, for example, you're not still stewing about what happened yesterday, are you? So maybe if we're really upset and we keep thinking about something, or we keep, we just keep like thinking about something over and over and over again. There's a word not coming to my head. Anyways, but yeah, if we're stewing about something, maybe we would think about something a lot because we were angry or worried about something. So that's kind of a fun use of this word. All right, let's see. Be sure. So if we are sure about something, sure about something, like you are aware of something, we're looking for a verb. A verb that means you are sure or aware of something, basically. So you're sure of something, or you're aware of something. Sounds like you have like knowledge or something. Because if you're sure about something, like you're confident that, like, you believe that something is true, right? To know, exactly. So let's put know in here. All right. No, yeah. If we know something is true, we are sure about it. We are aware of it. Perfect. So close. Gosh, what is this? Oh, let's see this one. The sinking signal. Sinking signal. So, for example, for ships, right? If something sinks, you know, it was originally on top of the water, and then it goes under the water, right? That's what it means to sink. So, if a ship sinks, it goes under the water, it no longer floats. And then there's like the signal, exactly, SOS, that indicates it's in trouble, right? Exactly, you'd send out an SOS. Let's put SOS here. Perfect. Nonsense. I want more information so we can do this one. Acid type. I think this was in the other crossword we did the other day. I think. Type of acid. Isn't this like a something to do with proteins, isn't it? It's like a chemical substance. Yes. Chemical substances found in plants and animals that combine to make protein. So, chemical substances found in plants and animals that combine to make protein. Amino. Exactly, amino acid. So let's put that in here. It's got our amino acids. All right, amino. Full rage kids bride. Oh, you know what I think this one is? This is like the little bike that a kid would ride before riding a real bicycle. So, kids ride. So something a small child would ride on, before learning how to ride a full-sized bike, right? Dun, 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 dun. And this is like, it's like the abbreviated, like the short form of a longer word. But basically, like it has 3 wheels. It has 3 wheels, right? One of the little ones. Let's see if I can get one. Dun, 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 dun. Like one of these little guys with the 3 wheels. So tricycle is actually for like the long form, the full version, and we would say trike for short. So I'm gonna put it in here. Trike, exactly. Short for tricycle. There we go. Tricycle, exactly, with 3 wheels. A little kid would ride around on. Let's put that here. TRK. Oh, you know what this is? River through Alaska. I'm Canadian. This is also the name of a Canadian province. If you know anything about Canada. I know we don't usually do trivia here, but this river also shares the name of a Canadian province, and it's a place where, you know, the gold rush happened, you know. The Yukon, exactly. Yukon, I think. Yeah, exactly. So Yukon, let's put that in here. All right. Fixes it away. Oh, I know what this is. I don't know if we're gonna know what that is. Sit down. This is a thing. So fixes it away. This is a thing that you do to an animal if you don't want the animal to reproduce anymore. And we would say you get your animal fixed. Fixes or makes it so an animal cannot reproduce. And this is for the female. So you know what that one might be. This might be a new word for us. Not reproduce. Yes. So for the female animal, you talk about getting your, you know, sometimes I may talk about, you know, it's important to get, oops, important to whatever this is, and neuter your pets. That's what they might say. Exactly. So they can't make more little babies. So starts with an S. I'll put an S here. probably gonna be a new word, I think. But that's cool. That's what we're here for. So I don't know what the word is in English. Yes. Yeah. All right. This one is gonna be spays. You would spay an animal. So you would. So that's what we would say. Spay. Just spay or neuter your pets. Get them fixed, we would say. That's what we would say. Or is your animal fixed? That means cut it, reproduce. Yes or no. So there we go. All right. All right, let's do this one. So here, scrape, because I was kind of avoiding this one because I thought it might be tricky for us. Usually scrape is a verb, right? Thing basically to scratch something, but here we're using it as a noun as well. We can use it as a noun too. You know, I fell and I got a scrape on my knee, for example. But this word here though, this answer though is a little bit funny. I don't like it so much, but abrasion, exactly. Castrated have the same meaning of this word. So if you get an animal castrated, yeah, yes, but that's for the males. So neuter, yeah, exactly. To neuter a male, an animal, a male means to get it castrated, exactly. So, right. Yeah, so that's the difference. If you spay an animal, that's for the female, where they go in and they remove the uterus or whatever they do. And then you would castrate a male animal. And yeah, abrasion is our word here. Usually that means, yeah, to sort of like process of rubbing away something. Of rubbing away the surface of something. Anyways. But we could also use it, yeah, like as you have like a little wound, for example. She had a small abrasion on her knee, so a small scratch or a scrape. All right, I put that in here. Let's see if we can do this one here now, because I wasn't sure if we'd know what this one is, but this is kind of a funny way, very informal way to tell somebody to sit down. I like this one. It's kind of a little bit rude. Very informal sort of slang way. Tell someone to sit down. We might need to guess what this one is, but it's kind of a funny one. So, not park it, it's gonna be 2 words. We have a two-word answer. So we have one in here, and it basically, like a phrase that means, yeah, to sit down. I don't even see it in the dictionary I use. Anyways, definitely needs to sit down. This first one is a word that it's a word that we usually use when talking about cars, actually. So the first word is usually used when talking about cars. And park it, exactly. We tell somebody to park it. Park it. Park it. Like typically, like, park your butt down on the couch or whatever. Sit your butt down. So the it refers to your butt, basically. Maybe tell somebody to park it. Sit down. So it's kind of funny. Yeah. So, but we could also say that too, you know, I got home and then I parked it on the couch for a while. So that's how we would use that. I don't know how common this is these days. I mean, I wouldn't even usually use this, but anyways, but that's what it means. To sit on the couch for a little bit. All right, we're so close. We're super close. A word that means a full range of something. Full range of something. So this is a noun, basically. Yeah, it means that you have a full range of different things. We would say, and there's a collocation that we would use this, actually. We'd say a whole, or had the, you know, the whole, whatever, this of it. Something. That's typically how we would use this. Or full as well, too. This might be a little bit trickier, though. But yeah, it means like a whole range of something. Great little word, though. A tricky one. If this was hard, we could also, there's also this one here, too. Sort of like a corporal's superior in like the Navy or whatever. Gamut is our word, exactly. And we did it! Great job, guys. You would say you have like the whole gamut of something. So I'm gonna put that in a sentence for us. So we can see how we might use it. So in her stories, she expresses the whole gamut of emotions from happiness to sorrow. So all of the emotions. And also, too, the full gamut as well, too. Another collocation. Full gamut of something. Yeah, there's a whole gamut of people at the party. All sorts of different people and things like that. Anyways, great job, guys. Cool to see some new people and stuff like that. Really appreciate your help. This was a lot of fun. So I hope you guys learned something new. It was really cool. I love when everybody helps. So that's so great. I will be back on Friday. Back on Friday. On Friday for another crossword at the same time. I believe this is what, 1300 UTC. I hope I get this right. 1300 UTC. I'll be back on Friday. I will be a little bit late. I will be slightly late just because I have a class beforehand. But I will be here at about this time again on Friday for another crossword. And as usual, you know, if you like this, give this little video like a like, feel free to subscribe, all of that jazz. Feel free to share this, share news about this activity with other people you know who are learning English. Because the more the barrier, that would be really great. And also too, if you are, of course, looking to talk with me personally or anything like that, looking for some classes, the best way to get a hold of me is either email or on Telegram. So I guess I should share that information. There we go. All right, perfect. Anyways, all right. Thanks a lot, everybody. Really appreciate it. Again, happy you guys come out. And I'll see you again on Friday. All right. Bye, everybody. Have a good day.